Hello, this is Michael Davis, and I'm going to take you through my learner-centered interactive digital literacy final project summary reflection. Now, months ago, when I started thinking about this end project through the brainstorming and through the mapping and all of this work above, I thought a good example that I could bring and share with the class would be this new activity I was going to do involving having my theater students correct a PSA, or I'm sorry, compose a PSA, public service announcement, in regards to suicide prevention. I was really looking forward to having students make this PSA, enter it into a real film contest, possibly win some money, just connecting kids to the real world, and I just thought it was a really positive message. Now, I planned all of that out, and you can look at the writing and the mapping above. And I also had my students do the experience. So there's an end product here that you can look at, but I have to be honest, I feel as though I have created a far better digital literacy final project that I'd like to share with you. It connects to my practicum, my technology practicum course, where I talked about developing digital portfolios in my own class. Well, once I started discussing the idea with my admins and my school site, we thought it would be an excellent thing to bring to the entire campus. So, working with my admins and teachers from pretty much each department, we came up with this idea of during post grad plan presentation week, where all seniors are required to present their plans for after high school once they graduate, we would have all of the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors go through the process of creating a digital portfolio. So, while there is the PSA work here for you to review if you'd like, for my final reflection video, I want to share with you this literacy project that I've created that involves creating a digital portfolio just because I feel more proud of it than I do of the PSA work. Not that that wasn't good work. So I'd like to take you through what it is that I've made and walk you through my reflection around it. So let's begin with the pre-planning learner analysis. So I knew I was going to have from freshmen to juniors, most of which these students were going to be struggling students with very little experience in web design. Now, these students at Village Oaks were an alternative education high school, so we get reluctant learners by design. We don't get kids who love school and are doing excellent at it. We turn them into those kids, hopefully, but they don't definitely enter our program super excited about school. They also need motivation and to see real-world applicableness of assignments to truly buy in. Now, sometimes as a teacher, it is possible, like even if your assignments don't have a real-world applicableness to them, that students, through your relationship with them, will still do them. However, for this project, this is going to be something that is done campus-wide, and not only teachers are going to be leading this initiative, we're going to have school resource officers, translators, community outreach figures, all hosting these digital portfolio setups. And so there definitely needs to be the real world connection to get those kids motivated. The format of the training that I have set up should be pretty familiar to students. I'm going to go ahead and open that up right here. I have created a digital portfolio setup using a Google Classroom, which this year, all students are familiar with Google Classroom at my school site, but this project is foreseeably not only going to be used this year for all the students we have currently, but the 8th graders who are going to go to our freshman academy over the summer, they're going to use this to set up a digital portfolio. And then next year, all throughout the year, when new students add to our program, they have to take a class called Viking Orientation, where they get familiar with our school structure and the expectations of them. This will be something that they use to set up their digital portfolios in that course. So this is something that, while this year kids have a familiarity with Google Classroom and the use of Chromebooks, next year Google Classroom may be newer to some of our students. So I wanted to make sure that it was user-friendly enough that anybody, regardless of their experience with Google Classroom or not, would be able to get in and do it. Now, this is set up in a series of, you can see the first direction is scroll down to the bottom of the stream to begin, so it tells them exactly where to go. So here's the bottom of the stream, intro, start here. It's set up as a series of video tutorials in very small chunks. The first one is an intro that is 2 minutes long. The next one is signing in beginning, that's 1 minute. Customizing, that's 4 minutes. Customizing again with inserting text and images, that's 4 minutes. writing the bios 4 minutes, so on and so forth. They're in small chunks, so that way students with limited computer skills, and especially since most students have not had any web design, let alone the new Google Sites, that they're in small enough chunks to be digestible. Now, students will also have physical checklists to use while they go through this tutorial, which I'll talk, or this digital learning experience, which I'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. But that is another way in which to ensure that they know what is expected of them. Now, students with limited physical motor skills, we don't have any currently at our site at this time, but since I've described to you how these videos are likely to be used in the future, that is a possibility. They may require assistance in using a Chromebook to set up their site, to navigate Google Classroom. However, in the rare case of a student with a physical disability that would prevent them from using a Chromebook, the tutorials and the structure of this Google Classroom are set up in a way that even students who are reluctant learners, even students who may have an IEP or might have English as a second language, they're very, very user-friendly. They show everything that is being asked to be done, that anybody, I would argue, should be able to complete this without much assistance from a teacher. Students will need to complete this access to a computer. More than likely it'll be a Chromebook, since we are a one-to-one school site via Chromebooks, and an internet connection. They will also need their students.lusd.net account and password, because this video and this Google Classroom is only available to students within the students.lusd.net domain. So let's talk about the task analysis. Students are going to start at the bottom of this assignment stream watching the intro video, which I'm not going to play the full 2 minutes of. I just want to demo a little bit of it for you. Give it a second to load. Let me see if I can zoom in.
VillageOaks digital portfolio. What is it?
Oh, I'll let it keep playing.
Let's start with what a digital portfolio is. The digital portfolio is a website you will build over your high school career at VillageOaks. It will document your progress towards graduation, meeting personal and academic goals, and serve as a tool to be used after graduation to showcase yourself in a professional way.
I'm going to pause there. So the first video that I made used My Simple Show, which I have on my citations page, to just kind of demo what a digital portfolio is and why we're doing it at our site and how students can use it after they graduate to get some of that real-world applicableness in there. The rest of the videos, though, are me doing screencasts, showing students step by step how to get into the new Google Sites, how to use the new Google Sites to make digital portfolios. Each one of these steps here is me demoing how to do it. After they watch this initial video, they're going to work their way up the assignment stream to the top. And once they get to the top, they've done everything necessary to set up their digital portfolios. Each step is accompanied with a link if they need it. So this, for example, gets them to the sign-in page for the new Google Sites, as well as a tutorial video. Not only that, but there are certain assignments like the digital bio ideas and examples when they have to write their homepage bio, where if the student clicks on it, it's going to be a resource to help them develop their digital bio. So not sure what to write about some of the following in your digital bio. And I give you a list here, or I give them a list here. I give them a good example of what a good digital bio could look like. And then I also give them an example of what a bad digital bio could look like. So these are meant to be resources and tools to assist students on some of the more complex tasks they're asked to do with the digital portfolio so they don't feel frustrated or stuck. Once they make their way to the top of the assignment stream, there is a digital checklist. They're also going to have a paper checklist that they can use to check to make sure everything on their digital portfolio is done correctly before they ask a teacher, staff member, or proctor to review their digital portfolio to ensure everything is as it should be. Now, as far as the context analysis, this is one of the reasons I'm so excited about this learning experience and I wanted to share it for this video. It's because this video is going to be used in so many different contexts. Teachers are not going to be the only ones hosting these digital portfolio setups. We're going to have principals, new hires, instructional aides, translators, counselors, student outreach workers, all of whom are going to be hosting these sessions. And they may have little or no experience with digital portfolios. They may have not even know that we have a digital portfolio at our site if they're a brand new hire. However, they, using the way this is structured, would be able to take kids through the process of setting up a digital portfolio and check to make sure that the work is done correctly. Students, because this is going to happen during PGP presentation week, where half the teachers are going to be in specific rooms watching kids present their post-grad plans, they're going to be all over campus. Some are going to be outside, some are going to be in the cafeteria, some are going to be in the library, some are going to be in vacant classrooms with teachers or with staff members who don't usually host instruction for them. So the learning environment is going to be very varied, yet this assignment and this learning experience is set up that they can complete it no matter where they are at. Each student with their Chromebook will go through each of these lessons to completion. Now, there are several objectives for this digital experience that students are going through. One is to help students see the what and why behind our digital portfolio creation at VO. The second is to embed and truly honor and measure our new expected student outcomes. We're revamping our student outcomes in preparation for our WASC coming up, and we really want to make our outcomes something that we don't just give lip service to when those WASC folks come on campus. We want teachers to know them, students to know them, and to see them as important things to provide evidence for and measure all throughout kids' high school careers. And finally, we want students to be prepared for the real world. In the real world, we know when students apply for jobs, they're Facebooked and Googled and all of those things to see the kind of people that they are. This is a way for students using their digital portfolio to take control of that narrative, to present themselves in a professional way, to showcase not only their progress towards meeting student outcomes in high school, but also to serve as a showcase of their resumes, their cover letters, and professional experiences such as community service, making them look good for potential employers. Now, for the assessment piece here, I also love this part because not only does this digital checklist, which teachers can choose to print and make copies of for their students or just have done digitally, not only does this allow students to assess their own work to ensure that everything they've done is up to par, but regardless of who's checking off this digital portfolio, it tells them exactly what to look for. So digital portfolio should have your first and last name as the title. Check to make sure it is not called Entitled Site in the upper left corner. Once they've done that, they can check it off and then have a teacher initial it as well. The digital portfolio should look nice and be well organized when put in preview mode. Click this top icon to put it into preview mode, so on and so forth. It walks them through every single step. So not only does the student know what is expected of them by the end of this digital portfolio, but before they get it signed off, a teacher or staff member can go through this checklist to verify everything that needs to be done is done correctly. This will allow for whoever is giving this digital portfolio assignment, not just me, but any staff member, to ensure that the student has set up their digital portfolio correctly. For my pedagogical strategies and tools, without getting overly complex in the explanation again, let me say that this experience is part of a larger, more complex schedule that puts seniors in a variety of rooms with half the teachers, while the rest of the sophomores, freshmen, and juniors have to be doing something else on campus with teachers and staff members who are usually not in charge of them when it comes to completing schoolwork. That means that some of the people hosting these sessions are going to be folks who have little or no classroom experience, especially when it comes to classroom management. To garner buy-in, of course, we begin by having them watch that introduction video that explains why we do digital portfolios at our site and the value of using a digital portfolio once you graduate to secure employment. However, we've also set up this digital portfolio work to be something that has an extra carrot. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, after school, kids are going to be required while seniors are presenting to stay and do these digital portfolios. Wednesday, if they have done their digital portfolio and they get it all signed off, it's looking beautiful and a staff member has signed off that their digital portfolio is complete, Thursday and Friday after school, they don't have to stay. They get to go actually early that day home as kind of a reward for setting up their digital portfolio successfully and making it look nice. Anybody who has not set up their digital portfolio Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday has to stay an additional hour after school working with staff members to get their digital portfolio up to par. In this way, not only have we encouraged students for all the right reasons to do a digital portfolio because it's going to help them graduate high school on time, it's going to ensure that they're looking good to potential employers, but we've also structured the experience itself to ensure there's a big enough carrot to keep most learners motivated, regardless of the person in the room is fantastic at classroom management or not. For the digital literacy connections, so I'm using screencasts and templates to show students what their digital portfolio should look like. There are plenty of examples in these videos. In fact, in the final video, it shows them what my end example looks like that students can use in reference. This is going to be essential to ensuring their success. Now, this lesson fits not only into what we as a school site are doing, the larger picture, and revamping our student outcomes, but it also fits in what I do in my classroom each year because I teach senior English where students are required to make their post-graduation plan in order to pass my class. Now, a new part of this post-graduation plan going forward is going to be the use of this digital portfolio where students not only have to demonstrate that they have a plan for themselves after high school, but before getting a passing grade in my class, which they need to graduate high school on time, they're going to have to demonstrate that their time in high school has been spent well and that they have achieved or made progress towards achieving our expected student outcomes for them. So not only will they have to do a presentation to convince their teachers I've got a plan for after high school, but they will have to demonstrate to their teachers as well that their time spent in high school they made progress towards the goals that we have set for them, justifying their ability to receive an on-time high school diploma. So not only will students see high school as important because they need a high school diploma, but they'll see it all weaved together in this digital portfolio as a larger experience preparing them to be productive citizens after high school. I want to share with you before we wrap up this video the citations page that has all of the resources that I use. Let me see if I can get that up here to share with you guys. Oh, let me minimize this guy really fast. Bring it on over. Okay, so down on the bottom here is a citation page with a ton of references that I used, not only for the directing change resources, but also in my development of the digital portfolios, including like screencasts that I watched myself on how to customize Google Sites, as well as a bunch of different resources I used in developing the idea for digital portfolios, along with the admins and the teachers that I met with. All right. Thank you guys for watching this video. I was really excited to share this experience. Sorry if it was long-winded, but I had a lot to say about it because I was very proud of it. Thank you.